Donald Trump has become more relevant than ever. Some people love him, some people hate him. But no matter what side of the fence you're on, it can't hurt to know a bit more about him. So let's take a more detailed look into the life of Donald Trump. Donald Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York City, New York. He is the fourth child out of 5 siblings, having 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and is the son of Fred and Mary Trump. During Donald's early life, he attended a private school with his siblings until his father opted to place him in the New York Military Academy from 8th grade until graduation. This due to him being a bit rough. You know, like giving teachers black eyes by throwing erasers. But he went on to excel both academically and athletically. Later in his college days, Donald's father would have him work on projects with the company during the summertime, setting the stage for his future involvement in the family business. He went on to earn a Bachelor of Science degree in economics from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League university, where he graduated in 1968. All of this, of course, being around the time of the Vietnam War, where he did have to register for the draft. He was deemed as fit in 1966, but a re-evaluation in 1968 found he had heel spurs, which disqualified him. The business that gave the Trump family so much opportunity has an interesting history in itself. Donald's German-born grandfather Frederick Trump made a small fortune during the Klondike Gold Rush running restaurants and hotels. Foreseeing the end of the rush and more government involvement, he sold it all, went to Prussia, got married, and settled in New York City. It was here he started to invest a little bit in real estate, only to die in 1918 from the Spanish flu. His sons Fred and John Trump and widowed wife Elizabeth Trump continued Frederick's endeavors and went on to create a real estate development and construction business in 1927, known as Elizabeth Trump and Sons Co. Through a number of smart business decisions, from building cheap houses in the 20s, helping pioneer supermarkets in the Great Depression in the 30s, getting U.S. Navy building contracts in World War II in the 40s, and later placed quite a bit of focus in low-income housing throughout New York City all the way to the 70s. The company became very successful under Donald's father. Donald Trump himself joined the company in 1968 at the age of 22, right after graduating from university. Starting out with a small $1 million loan for developing properties in Brooklyn, he made out quite well for himself. By 1971, Donald ventured out for development opportunities in Manhattan itself, which at the time had the fiercest market in the entire world, with things such as the development of the original World Trade Center having been under construction at the time going to show for it. Though going against his father's advice, Donald took advantage of the New York City financial crisis in the early 1970s, and it turned into being the best decision he and the company ever made. Trump started out by contacting property liquidators disposing of properties, with the interest of developing them. Given the financial state of New York at the time, he obtained outstanding deals with his assertive attitude and later political connections. It paved way for his legitimacy as a successful businessman. Donald proved to be more adventurous than his father, eventually landing himself president of the family company by 1974, at the young age of 28. Once he was president, it was full steam ahead. By 1976, Donald entered the realm of developing massive properties in Manhattan, one of his first success stories being the development of properties from the Penn Central Railroad Company, later moving to more prestigious endeavors, such as the purchasing and renovation of the bankrupt Commodore Hotel. Love him or hate him, Donald saw opportunity and potential in a way no one else did. He managed to convince bankers to finance him with $120 million, while rallying up hotel chains to be interested in purchasing, redesigning the building in a modern architectural style. At the time, he had nothing to show for working with buildings at that scale, but by the time he was done in 1980, he proved he was a legitimate force in New York development. Not too long after his start in the project, he married Czech-American athlete, socialite and fashion model Ivana Zelníková in 1977. They would go on to have 3 children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, all of whom would go on to work in the company with their father, currently serving as EVPs. From the 1980s to the 1990s, Trump started venturing into multiple different business and personal endeavors, while still building a reputation in the development aspect of the business. Not only was he proving his worth by getting jobs such as repairing both Woolman Rink and Central Park in New York City, being done in record time and under budget, he was also becoming a celebrity and getting heavily involved in New York's political realm. Some would say a little too involved. Trump was a man who was out to impress. When he developed the Plaza Hotel, it was a 58-story building that Trump ordered to have all numbers of each floor 10 higher than it should be, to make the building appear to be 68 stories tall. He has ventured into business opportunities such as hotels, board games, movies, alcohol, mortgaging, restaurants, ice cream, bottled water, catering, menswear, television cameos, beauty pageants, and even casinos, promoting his business and his image all the time. Most of his business endeavors became successful, while a few less so. His most famous flop being the Trump Taj Mahal Casino, a 1988 purchase that went south fast and ended up costing banks and backers hundreds of millions, pretty near destroying Donald Trump financially in the early 90s, until managing to settle the losses. But the early 90s were not looking good for Trump. In 1992, investigative journalist Wayne Barrett and Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist David Craig Johnson wrote an unauthorized biography on Trump with allegations linking him with organized crime and shady individuals, but nothing legally has come of it. The problems did not end there. It wasn't long before that in 1991, after having had an extensive affair with Marla Maples, he and his wife divorced. He proposed to Marla that same year, and they got married in 1993. The couple had Trump's fourth child, Tiffany Trump, that same year. With that, problems arose, and the couple separated in 1997 and divorced in 1999. But he rebuilt, and by late 1999 he brought his net worth up to about $2 billion, from about $50 million after the end of the casino incident. The passing of his father the same year left him about $300 million as well, and he went on to rename the company the Trump Organization LLC. Throughout the 2000s, Donald not only rebounded, but became bigger and bigger, venturing out into even more business opportunities, especially that of golf courses and television shows such as The Apprentice. Even his name has money, with buildings around the world paying him to simply have his name part of theirs. He would also go on to be quite involved in supporting Democratic candidates, such as Hillary Clinton, who was a New York senator, supporting Democrats from 2001 all the way to 2009. In 2005, he would go on to get married again, to who would be his third and current wife, former model and jewelry designer Melania Knauss. They would go on to have Donald's fifth and youngest child, Barron Trump, born in 2005. Donald also currently has 6 grandchildren. With that, Donald shifted into the Republican sphere around 2009, presumably over his opinions on Barack Obama, whether it be his policies or where he was born, and considering his views more align with those who support the GOP. Forward to 2016, Donald Trump is running for president with the idea of making America great again. As of today, his net worth is over $4.5 billion. He has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy 4 times, still has dozens of other successful business endeavors, and is arguably the richest person to have ever run for president. Some of his ideas and comments have put him in hot water, but even with that, there is no doubt he has captured the attention of millions of people and has personally achieved quite a lot. But it's up to you if it's a good thing or not. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a brief biography over the life of Donald Trump. Let us know who you'd like to see us make a video on next in the comments section below. Whether it's your favorite athlete, a historical figure, or a modern rapper, we're looking to cover the full lives of the most interesting people of all time.